एवरीवन, वेलकम टू माय चैनल। आज हम करेंगे तुगलक प्ले रिटन बाय गिरीश कर्नाड और ये यूनिट 2 है। इसमें हम डिटेल कमेंट्रीज ऑन द प्ले पढ़ेंगे। पार्ट 1 सीन 1। पॉपुलर रिस्पॉन्स टू द न्यू किंग्स आइडियलिस्टिक इनोवेटिव सेकुलर पॉलिसीज shadow of dissent and misuse. The first scene introduces us to a conversation among ordinary citizens of Delhi about the new king's idealistic, innovative, secular policies after one of the many royal announcements made. The time is AD 1327 and the place is the yard in front of the Chief Court of Justice in Delhi, where there is support for the king, especially among the young. There is also dismay. Dismay means horrified, yeah, horrific experience at some of his secular ideas. Dismay means असहमति भी हो सकता है. His policy of compulsory prayers 5 times a day is generally welcomed, but his decision not to charge jizya, वो कर होता था ना, टैक्स लेते थे from the Hindus, his decision to ensure impartial justice with the human face to all, and his idea of transfer the capital to Daulatabad on strategic grounds of its central location and on grounds of its being a Hindu city puzzles and even bewilders the Muslim populace. Populace means population. After the announcement of the acceptance of the suit against the king and an award of 500 dinar and a job as compensation, the king himself appears and talks to his ideal of moving towards greater justice, equality, progress, and a more purposeful life. His idea of shifting his capital to Daulatabad was, among other things, meant to strengthen the bonds between Muslims and Hindus. The death of Sultan's father and brother, already a subject of public discussion, with Sheikh Imamuddin openly accusing the death of murdering them at Kanpur a week back, is talked about. A certain likeness of gestures or mannerisms between the Sheikh and the king is also referred to. Already chinks means breaks, could be seen in the well-intentioned policies. Near the means policies में कुछ खामियां थी. Near the end, we discovered that the Brahmins who has won his suit against the Sultan is Aziz. Means सुल्तान के अगेंस्ट जो उसने मुकदमा दायर किया था वो उसमें वो जीत गया था. अजीज़ नाम का व्यक्ति जो कि ब्राह्मण बना था डिस्गाइज में. Aziz, a Muslim dhobi from Shiknar. He had bought the land that had been confiscated. Confiscated means seized from a Brahmin, and predating his contract had filed a suit against confiscation. मतलब उसने एक ब्राह्मण से जो है ना वो एक ज़मीन ले ली थी एंड प्रीडेटिंग हिज कॉन्ट्रैक्ट हैड. प्रीडेटिंग होता है मीन्स अनफॉलो हिज कॉन्ट्रैक्ट, उससे फिर मिला नहीं और ये जो इसके अगेंस्ट केस कर दिया. ठीक है, मतलब फाइल्ड केस अगेंस्ट द कॉन्फिकेशन के मीन्स उसके अगेंस्ट ये केस हो गया था अजीज़ के अगेंस्ट. Aziz asks his friend Azam, who is a small pickpocket, to join him in all his money-making plans. Right up to Daulatabad, a suggestion to which the latter agrees. आज़म उसका फ्रेंड बन गया था, पिक पॉकेट वो जेब कतरा था. बाद में उसको वो ऑफ़र करता है कि तुम मेरे साथ दौलताबाद को चलो और वहाँ पे लूटपाट करेंगे. इट इज़ गुड फर्स्ट सीन, tightly constructed, economical, and while it puts us in possession of essential details of the past, It also prepares us for the drama that is to follow. Most of the major characters are either introduced or referred to. The opposition to the policies of the king anticipates the much greater unpopularity that follows later on. We have a glimpse of reported criticism of the king by Sheikh Imamuddin, which prepares us for the conspiracy against the Sultan later. Scene 2. The Sultan discusses the twin issue of the invasion of Mulk and the disaffection of Sheikh Imamuddin with advisors. A clever move is hinted at. इस सीन में क्या है, शेख जो है वो दो बातों के बारे में बात करता है, एक दो इश्यूज़ के बारे में बात करता है. एक यानुमुल्क जो कि उसको वहाँ पे अप्रोच कर रहा है, मीन्स अपनी सेनाएं लेकर आ रहा है, और दूसरा शेख के बारे में बात करता है. In contrast to the previous scene, scene 2 is set in a room in the palace. The focus here is the danger posed by Mulk's marching to Delhi and by the open criticism of the Sultan by Sheikh Imamuddin referred to in the scene 1. मतलब शेख ने सुल्तान का क्रिटिसाइज किया था, ओपनली क्रिटिसाइज किया था. The Sultan is elated at having solved the most famous problem of chess. Okay, when his stepmother suggests that he had better write to Mulk about this, he tells her that Mulk is his childhood friend and fellow champion of chess is marching towards Delhi. However, the Sultan doesn't seem overly worried about it. On the contrary, when the stepmother says she is worried about his keeping later hours, his reply shows him to be a visionary. He makes a theatrical speech in which he imagines himself climbing the tallest tree and asking his people to confide their worries in him and share their joys with him. He, in fact, proposes a complete merger of their bodies and his. But one life is too short for this momentous task, so he says he can't waste time in sleeping. In the course of the conversation, he discovers that his stepmother too suspects that he had murdered his father and brother. He obviously doesn't like it. Wazir Muhammad Nazib and historian Ziauddin Barani are announced. Nazib informs the Sultan that he has been able to collect more than 6,000 soldiers. He doesn't say against whom. He also informs him that Sheikh Imamuddin is in Delhi and that he is openly critical of the Sultan as being incompetent and that he has become a backbone of the rebels, adding that Barani could give him more information about the Sheikh. But he clearly wants the Sheikh eliminated. Barani is shocked at being spied upon, but he admits hearing the Sheikh and that the Sheikh thinks the Sultan to be a disgrace to Islam and also that he had murdered his father and brother. Barani tries to defend the Sheikh, saying that the Sultan must ignore these little things. The Sultan, however, is aghast, means horrified, at the accusation of murder and at the crooked minds of his accusers. The discussion that Sheikh Imamuddin brings out the difference between Nazib and Barani. Realistic and ruthless, Nazib correctly assesses the danger the Sheikh poses to the Sultan and wants him to be eliminated. The Sultan himself is against any action against him, and Barani, honest and generous, agrees with him, saying that the people will respond to Sultan's courage, honesty, and justice, but no one pays any heed to it. Finally, Nazib darkly hints at the resemblance between the Sheikh and the Sultan, and the Sultan apparently gets his message. The moment is significant. The Sultan just stares at Nazib and later says, "You are a devil, Nazib." Barani looks on uncomprehendingly. The mind of the two prime movers has been made, for the Sultan wants their army to leave for Kannauj the day after the following day. Here we can have a glimpse of the politicking at the highest level, the ruthlessness with which decisions are made, and the inability of a mere academician to understand the goings on in the power play. Do we notice a decline in the Sultan's idealism, or do we get to discover another side to his complex personality? Read the play and make up your mind. There is obviously a ruthless side to his character. The exact plan will uncover itself later. But the Sultan's sentence, "You are a devil, Nazib," implies his approval to Nazib's clever move that kills two birds with one stone. In this way, the Sultan will checkmate. Checkmate means defeat the danger posed by his childhood friend and fellow chess champion, and solve the problem of the Sheikh's dissent. Dissent means disagreement. The writer's use of the motive of chess is clear. An important fact comes to light here. The stepmother the stepmother doesn't like the influence of Nazib. He will look after the administration of the kingdom during the Sultan's absence. Additionally, he has asked Shihabuddin, the prince of Sambal, Sampanpur, Sampan to be in Delhi to look after the affairs of the state. The true significance of the arrival of Shihabuddin will become clear later. The stepmother not only extract a promise from Barani not to leave the Sultan under any circumstances, but also openly suggests the murder of Nazib. The Sultan, Nazib, Barani, and the stepmother. Everyone seems to have his or her own agenda. Now we are on scene 3. The public meeting fixed for Sheikh Imamuddin fails. The Sultan vocalizes his vision of unifying all his people on a basis broader than Quran. The Sheikh agrees to go and persuade Yanumul to desist from invasion. Now we'll start. Preceding the third scene is an announcement on behalf of the Sultan calling people of Delhi to attend a public meeting where Sheikh Imamuddin will analyze the administration of the Sultan. The Sultan will himself be present at the meeting, but no one turns up. Koi bhi nahi aata. The reason will become clear as you read the scene. This scene must be among the most tense scenes in the play. Two formidable adversaries, मतलब आपस में भिड़ने वाले दो लोग, Sultan and Sheikh, are face to face. The Sheikh, fearless as ever, says the God has given the Sultan power, learning, intelligence, talent, and that he should use it to spread the kingdom of God on earth, following the Islamic injunctions. The Sultan, however, says that his kingdom has millions of Muslims, Hindu, Jains, and that there is dirt and sickness in his kingdom which he, not God, must clean. He refutes the Sheikh's charge that he was trying to be another god. He also talked to his deep admiration for the idea of Plato and Aristotle. Just wait. The latest poetry, latest means Aristotle's poetry, had opened up vision of a world which, he says, even Arabs or the Quran could not give him. He frankly refuses to excise the Greek part in him or the vision of Zarathustra and Buddha. If he had put the Sayyids or the Ulemas behind the bars, it was because these religious figures had tried to tried to play politics. Finally, using the Islamic card, Sultan is able to persuade him to go to Iyanu Mulk as his envoy, means messenger, in the name of Islam and help in bringing peace, or else Muslim blood will flow. He presents the sheikh with the new robes, which robe means clothes, which bring out his resemblance to the Sultan even more strikingly. As becomes clear later, the failure of the sheikh's meeting is engineered by the Sultan by sponsoring the meeting himself on the one hand and prohibiting them from coming to the meeting. The Sultan has successfully cut the sheikh to size. But his move doesn't end here. By sending him as an envoy to Yanu Mulk, he practically ensures that he will get killed. The chess metaphor continues. The Sultan's view that religion and politics be kept apart from one another is an important element in his convictions as a king. He says that he has never denied the existence of God, but he doesn't want religious clerics to interfere in politics. ओके नाउ वीडियो काफ़ी बड़ा हो गया आई थिंक सो थैंक यू सो मच प्लीज़ सब्सक्राइब माय चैनल अभी हमने 3 सीन्स कर लिए हैं इसमें टोटल 13 सीन है तो 3 वीडियोज़ और हो जाएंगे उसमें ये पूरा फिनिश हो जाएगा थैंक यू सो मच